is Evie with Banded, and I'm here with Nick Reese, the lovely frontman of Joyous Wolf. Nick, thank you so much for taking some time today to chat with me about your music and just everything. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and happy Valentine's Day as well.
Happy Valentine's Day. No, yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm so stoked to be chatting with you today. So I've got a few questions I'm going to ask you here. And I'm going to end with a round of like rapid fire questions, essentially just like your favorites and stuff, get to know the artist. So it'll be fun.
Sure.
The first question here for you is if you could just introduce your band to the viewers and give us a brief like pitch for the band. What does Joyous Wolf bring to the table, and what sets it apart from other current rock bands?
My band's called Joyous Wolf, and we make music, and I don't know, I guess you'd have to decide the rest on your own. I don't really like talking about that.
That's all good. That's all good.
I think we're okay. You should give us a listen. I think you'd enjoy it. That's what I'll say to people. Give it a shot if you like alternative stuff.
That's your pitch. All right, I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. I like to just kind of let people decide on their own, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think everybody that's watching and hasn't listened to Joyous Wolf yet, what's taking you so long? I wish I had discovered you guys sooner, honestly. I mean, I wish I had discovered you guys in like 2018 or 2019, back when we still had concerts and everything, you know, and I'm hopeful concerts will come back and all very hopeful about that.
They will. I promise you. Don't worry, they will.
Let's see what else I have here. So the next question I have for you is, what is your favorite lyric or lyrics you've written, and why?
Oh.
Thought there a little bit.
Well, the problem with that is I think my favorite stuff is usually whatever the newest stuff is. So there's a lot of new lyrics that I can't really talk about yet.
Right.
I could, but it wouldn't be very fun, would it? I wouldn't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very proud of the new stuff, and I guess we're gonna look at the older stuff. I suppose. I guess I could determine something. I guess I was really proud of Odyssey's lyrics because it was just something that was like a project, like something I don't usually set out to do something, but I wanted to write a song about that story and make it edible for anyone to understand without having to read, the tome that is the Odyssey. I mean, I like that. You should, if you like to read, I recommend it. It's definitely a, literary fellatio for sure.
For sure.
It's definitely it's for me. I like reading old world stuff because people don't talk like that anymore.
Right.
And there is kind of a mental reset because now with the internet, especially you Gen Zers, you guys don't like to talk in full sentences.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the millennials aren't much better, but I'm just making jokes. But yeah, that's probably that. Or I guess we have a song called "What You're Worth" that we've had a long time, and I wrote that as a letter to myself when I was really young and very depressed. And back then I wanted to kill myself, and I thought that life wasn't worth living. I thought I wasn't worth anything, and I guess that determination was like, if I could go back and tell myself, hey, life gets worse, but you get better at dealing with it.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things to come. Don't worry about it, you know. And I think everybody goes through periods of, or at least not everybody, but a lot of people. And I don't know. I think that was just for as far as putting something pretty personal out there in a way, and just kind of reaching out, and hoping that it affects people. And over the years, people have told me that that song's affected them. And a good friend of mine from Australia actually reached out to me recently because that song's really old. It was actually on our original demo, and we finally are just now getting around to it being released in more ways officially. And she told me how happy she was to have it back to listen to, and that meant a lot to me. I was like, oh, I'm glad even in its shitty demo form from 2015 that it's, you know, it was good then. So I'm glad it's even better now.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, it definitely made me feel something when I listened to it at the whiskey performance. That was, oh my God, I'm gonna get choked up here again. But yeah, that one is very touching for me.
No, thank you.
Huh?
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. So sorry, that was a something that I dealt with as well and continue to deal with. And so those lyrics really impacted me and continue to. Oh my God, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm crying.
It's okay. It's okay to cry.
Yeah,
Crying is good.
it is. So my next question for you, let's have you talk some more. My next question for you, as a vocalist, what do you do to keep your voice in good condition? I'm curious because I'm a vocalist as well.
Well, that's a that's a loaded question. A lot of touring taught me quite a few things. I mean, number one that any instructor will tell you, and I've had a couple of lessons now, and I've been working with a woman named Melissa Cross, who's amazing and a wizard, and just helped me really figure myself out because she adapts to whatever you are and makes it work for you. And she helped me kind of my understanding on a scientific level. But you know, number one, don't talk, which is excruciatingly hard for me.
Mhm.
um Communication is just blabbing is what I do. But you
Feel
know, you
that.
try really hard to speak as little as you in between as possible, and that you'd be surprised. Like, I'll wear my voice out more in a conversation than I will singing for 2 hours, 3 4 hours, like.
Right.
And I'm not even joking. I'm actually serious. Like, I will, because you're not, when you sing, it's all very thought. And if you're doing it correctly, you're positioned correctly. When you're speaking, you're just kind of
Right. Right.
so that's one. Vocal rest is extremely important. And just improving your technique, improving your breathing, trying not to strain. You'll know when you strain, because when the difference between hearing someone when it feels like a note is falling out of someone, as opposed to when it's just like, you know, like, there's some, you hear it. Some people, especially if they're tired, you know, um it it doesn't, it doesn't fly. It kind of, they have to really press their body. And when you're forcing your body into positions to try to achieve something, that's when you know you're not in a good place, and you need to either hold back.
Yeah.
and and a lot of that has to do with ego too, I think, because you just want to show that you can do these things.
Right.
And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you're just physically just not there. So it's just about, again, maintaining that. The more you avoid that, the better you're going to sound overall, because you just kind of learn about, okay, I you learn new ways to do things. And for me, it's a lot of, especially like the more recent things we've done, like this last year, like in 2020, I just had all that time. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to work with Melissa, and I'm just going to continue to change the way that I perform.
Hmm.
And I knew that because I want to be able to sing forever. I don't want to run into problems. So it's kind of like, it was good though, because I think I found more of who I am as opposed to like what I was trying to do. And there will be changes. And I think there are times where I'll say fuck it and go and shred myself a little bit. But for the most part, I'm really trying to show people that I can be a much better vocalist. And I think that's this next record's really going to be about for me. It's more of a definitive thing of like, who am I? Who do
Yeah.
I want to show you that I am, and what can I do? And I'm going to show all of those things, I think.
Right, right. I'm definitely guilty of that, having a note fall out of you, because there's been so many times where I've been on stage and I've just been fighting for breath and fighting for my life trying to hit those notes. And a lot of time it's not even trying to hit a note, because there can be a note that's really up high, but other times it's just poor breath control. And I've studied with a few different teachers over the years. I did School of Rock for a while, which is where I got my performances in. And I definitely learned a lot about vocal technique. So those are some good tips to have reinforced there. Um, for sure. Sorry,
The number, like anything, singing is actually an exercise of muscles in your body and how you produce certain things. So it's just repetition. Like
yeah,
I can I can be set up correctly. I could be singing correctly, but I'll still, if I have to do an hour and I haven't rehearsed it, I'm not going to fare perfectly. I'm not going to fare well, because for me it's all about repetition. I have to do things like the set we did for the whiskey. We rehearsed that. I probably did that set probably 100 times
hmm
before we went to do the show, and I was ready and I felt ready.
right,
And that's the difference, is like if I were to just, okay, I know the song, I know the words, I know everything I'm going to do, and then I have to go and perform a show and just do it right off that one, I know it wouldn't be as good, because there's a whole thing, because it's about learning how to relax your body and not to overexert yourself, because most of the time, even for more demanding songs, etc., it's all about placement. It's not about um much else, really. I mean, if you know how to pace yourself through the song, just like how if you were running a mile, you don't just sprint from the get-go.
right.
You have to pace yourself, and pacing yourself is hard because you want to achieve certain things. You want to give off certain vestiges, or a certain vestige, sorry. And for me, that was kind of a trade-off because of the physical aspect of what I do as a performer. And now it's evolved into a different place. So when I go back on stage, it's going to be a very different performance than I think that people have seen in the past for me.
Right. That definitely makes a lot of sense. So my next question for you is, well, I started it out with saying, to creators, inspiration can be found almost anywhere, which sounds really pretentious, but you get the point, I
No,
guess.
it's not pretentious. No,
So
it's
I want
true.
to know, what makes you feel the most inspired or lights a spark in you to create something? And this may be more than one answer, so take your time.
Uh, I think for myself, I rely on emotions.
Me too.
I rely on. I think it's most people. I mean, nothing is ever just about. Rarely is a song ever really about its focus, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of different aspects. I mean, I tend to hide behind things to make it more fun for a
Yeah.
listener, because sometimes you need to be straightforward, but
Mhm.
most of the time I just rely on what makes me feel things, and whatever the guys play, I just kind of use my imagination, and whatever they choose to play is usually the moment where I'll stand there while they go through the beginning parts of it, or whatever. And I close my eyes and I think about what does this mean to me? What does it feel like? And it's kind of like little pictures in my head and little movies. And I kind of, okay, well, now I have this movie and now I'm going to write the script, I guess, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. I see visuals in my head a lot too when it comes to inspiration. And I like to write poetry, but for some reason I can't write lyrics. So I think seeing the visuals does help to inspire. I can definitely relate to that. Um,
You can write poetry, you can write lyrics. Lyrics are easy. You just gotta not think about it. The more you think about anything that you do, the worse it's gonna be.
True.
Just let
Very,
just let it happen. And it'll
yeah,
happen.
exactly. I feel like there'll be probably a breakthrough for lyrics for me. I've written poetry for years, but haven't done much with it. I feel like there's a lot of pressure that I put on myself to write lyrics that rhyme, or oh, I'm not fluent in any instruments. I'm a vocalist. I don't really play any instruments, but I feel like there will be a breakthrough at some point that's just like you feel something and you let it happen. So that's some good advice there. I appreciate that. My next question for you, Joyous Wolf, you guys had your first overseas shows planned for 2020 you're telling me about. And those obviously got canceled due to the pandemic.
Mhm.
So in the future, once we're all able to freely travel everywhere again, I'm curious to know what overseas city or cities would you most love to perform and why?
Any city.
Any city?
Yeah, I don't pick favorites. I just wanna do my thing. It doesn't matter where. I don't care if it's, you know, Michigan or Italy, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Mm.
mean, has there been are there any exotic cities or anywhere just on the other side of the world you've been like, man, I'd love to go there. I'd love to perform there. Anything that pops in your head?
Anywhere.
Anywhere, anywhere. You're open minded.
I just that's just I don't know. I don't think of it like there's a particular spot. I think more it's like, well, I just want to bring what I'm putting down to anyone. That's how I know the guys feel. We don't care where we are as long as there's people there to listen, and or to have a good time with us. I guess I think that's really all that matters to me, really.
That's a good mindset to have. I mean, if I was in your position too, I would be grateful to tour anywhere or perform anywhere, whether it's LA or New York or Italy, like you said, or Paris or wherever. I'm definitely stoked to see where you guys will go overseas. Do you have any kind of like say in where you go city wise, or do your managers and whoever pick out where you go?
Well, we have an agent that kind of points us in that direction. Yeah, I mean, we're already slated for European festivals this summer, and so hopefully things look better. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, I sure hope so. That'd be freaking awesome to see you guys go to Europe and do some shows over there. I have some European friends that would love to go.
It'll definitely happen. Either way, it'll definitely happen. We're at that spot where our thankfully our listener base is our fans have grown around the world. We have
Yeah,
more fans in countries we've never set foot in than our
right.
own. So yeah, I mean that was the next step and where we were going anyways. We had done all of North America. We did Canada twice in 2019. We played just about every city there is in Canada, and we've been from SoCal to New York City to every corner of this country probably 6 times since the end of 2017. So
Mm,
and again in 2019 we played 120 shows in 7 months.
wow.
And we just killed ourselves. And I'm glad that we did because of the way that 2020 went and 2021 still is progressing to
Right.
be. And I'm glad we did that overabundance because, I know there's a lot of friends of mine and some of these other, up and coming bands. who are just about to get started on that, and you know, they haven't experienced any of that.
Exactly.
So we were really fortunate to show up to the party, you know, as early as we did.
Mhm.
I mean, really, when we first went out, it was just us and Greta Van Fleet. We were the only new rock bands. I think the only other one we ran into at the time was like Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, and that was like a year later. So like those first festivals we did, we were the youngest people there. It was just us and them, and that was it. And now there's so many other new
Mm.
groups. But like I said, I feel very fortunate that we had the opportunity that we had in 2019 and killed ourselves on the road. And you know, all of my knees and hip problems seem worth it in the end.
That makes sense. So my next question for you, so far you've met legendary artists like Dave Grohl, Dolly Parton, Miles Kennedy, and many others in your career,
Yeah,
which I'm so jealous of, by the way. A huge Dave Grohl fan here.
you're a
That
cool
must
guy.
be a huge moment.
Yeah.
I want to know who would be your biggest bucket list moment, like you'd be utterly starstruck if you could meet them in person, artist.
I don't know if I can be starstruck anymore.
Interesting.
After, I mean, after I met Dolly, because you know, Dave is Dave, and but Dolly Parton is Dolly Parton. She's just like this ethereal thing. I'm like, she knew
Right.
Elvis, you know, like,
Hmm.
and she had stories about James Brown and stuff like that. Like my manager has told me about, you know, like I didn't get to speak with her much. I met her like twice, but like um and this I've heard so many things, and she was so sweet, and so it was like again, she's an icon. Like
Right.
Dave is is a hero, but she's like in this other place, you know,
Yeah.
like yeah. Um she's like Americana. She just is part of American history. She's just her role in music, popular music is a huge one. So meeting her was like I think the last time I felt kind of like a little bit of that, but not even then, because like we'd already met some pretty amazing people. I think if anyone was, I don't know, I don't think anyone would start. I think now I'd just be cocky as shit. I mean, I always make this joke, like if I ever meet Mick Jagger, I, if I ever meet him, I'll you know, I'll give him a handshake and I'll say, "You can retire, man. I got it from here. Don't worry about it. I got this. You can go. You can go hang out on the beach. I'll take it. I'll take this torch, whether you want to give it to me or not."
Yeah.
Um, I mean that's just in jest, obviously, but I probably would actually say that. If I met Paul McCartney, or Mick or fucking Robert Plant, or I met again. I met and got to know Ian Gillan, and that in itself was one of the, you know, I'll have that for the rest of my life,
Right.
and I'll know that he approved of me, and that makes me happy. Um, to be a young cat, you know, that he doesn't just roll his eyes at. Um, uh, yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think. If I met Elvis, I'd probably pee myself just because he's dead. So like,
Right.
I'd just be confused. Yeah, I don't know if there's
Like some
anybody that I would meet that would just break me. At this point, I don't think it's possible because I've already met one of the biggest icons in popular music, and one
Mhm.
of, you know, and guys who rubbed elbows with people like Robert Plant and whatever, and you
Yeah.
know, and like now it's just kind of inspiring because it's always cool to meet these people on the job and not as like just some guy who wants to take their picture or something. When it's like, hey, I'm part of this traveling show with you. You know,
Right.
that's pretty cool. I mean, we actually, the reason why we met Dolly is because our manager is her manager. So
Nice.
um yeah, so it was very much, it's not, I'm not meeting, it's always cool to not meet these people as just little sideline whatever, because I don't think I would have wanted to. I think I would have been like, no, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I want to earn it, you know. And that's kind of when I met like the guys, and I met Dave and the Foo Fighters and Queens of the Stone Age. We met them all at once with, and I also met Billy Idol that day, which was very cool. But it was cool because we were playing that festival, and
Hmm.
because I actually did part of my stage act for Dave and Pat Smear. Pat Smear thought it was so weird. He's like, "You need to do this for Dave," and he went and got Dave and brought him to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is
Oh.
cool." You know, yeah, it was cool. And I remember Josh Homme was there, blitzed out of his mind, and was like, "You guys, these guys," because they wouldn't let Queens and Foo Fighters watch Billy Idol side stage for some reason. I don't know, some weird whatever the heck. I don't know. Who cares? Um, and he's like, "These guys are lame. Come watch us. You guys, you tell them that I said to do it." So yeah, we freaking went, and we went and watched Queens of Stone Age. And right after that, we ran across the thing there. This is at Welcome to Rockville or Carolina Rebellion. I don't remember. It was one of those two. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Rockville. And so yeah, I remember I got to watch both of their shows, and it was a very enlightening moment for me because I saw two professional, like top tier groups go at it and do their thing, and it was very much like, man, I suck, you know, like I'm awful, you know. I also saw Stone Temple Pilots that day, and it was kind of a similar effect, and it was just like, um, very much like, God, I suck, like I'm so bad. Like I'm nowhere near this. I need, and I need to reevaluate myself. And there's a lot of times in my life where I'm like, I need to reevaluate myself when I see someone just dominate. And I don't know. And I think that has a lot to do with, with the group that we are now, and what we're turning into going forward. And it's going to be different. It's not going to be the band that they heard on the first EP. Not at
Yeah.
all. Like in any way, I don't think really, other than it's got the same name on it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting. Those are some really cool stories about Dave Grohl and everything. That's pretty cool. I'm really
Yeah.
excited that the upcoming record as well.
Mhm.
So I have a couple more fun questions for you here. I want to know. I've got this next one says, imagine you're stranded for 2 weeks on a deserted island with nothing but food and water, a vinyl player, and 3 records of your choice to keep you entertained. What vinyls are they and why?
That's really, really tough. That's like, um, I guess I'd pick. It's a record called "Simple Things." It's by a band called 07. It's actually where the pop star Sia got her start. She was part of this band called 07.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm a big Sia fan. Um, yeah, Simple Things is just such a dreamy, interesting record. I love it a lot. I recommend it to anyone who wants something probably a little different than what they're used to. I mean, for the most part, depending on who you are, I guess. But yeah, that'd be one. Just because I know I wouldn't get bored of it because it's just such a feely album as opposed to like a dominating album. Like I couldn't bring like a metal record. I couldn't
Right.
bring like Great Southern Trendkill or something. Like I couldn't do that because like a Pantera because I know I get bored of that real fast. Not that
Yeah.
it's not awesome and intense, but it's not something I don't think I could just keep on repeat and that would like sustain me. It need to be something a bit more. But that's just me. I'm not saying that you can't pick that. Internet people, oh, God. Um, shoot, that's one. Oh no. Uh, there's a great James Brown live album that is one of my favorites. and it's called Love, Power, Peace.
I like that name.
Yeah, James Brown. It's Love, Power, Peace. Hey, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on that record. Like the band is unreal because it's by Bootsy, Catfish Collins, and Fred Wesley, and uh, Tiger on drums, and an amazing band, an incredible band, and James Brown in his prime doing his thing, and the energy is unreal. It just feels like you're there. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy record, and I would recommend that one to anyone too. I'd probably pick that one and Simple Things, and then third record, oh, um, if you'd asked me in 10 minutes, I'd have three completely new ones. I guess the third one. Um, mm,
Get it. I totally get it. If you can only pick two, that's
no,
cool.
I could pick a third one. There's a lot of them floating in my head. I'm just like, which one? Um,
Challenge.
um, I guess I'd pick Young the Giant's self-titled record.
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are three albums I could take with me, and I know I wouldn't get bored of them.
Okay. So you got your three solid records to keep you entertained for 2 weeks on a desert island. Like to hear it.
Oh yeah.
My second to last question for you here is all about your music, and it's another kind of interesting open-ended question. So, consider this premise: by some crazy circumstances that can't be explained, imagine that every Joyous Wolf song is about to be completely obliterated and rid from the earth, except for one song of your choice that will remain. What song would you save and why?
That's a weird one. Um, that's hard because I feel like there's a whole record's worth that doesn't exist yet, so I can't really talk about those. But I guess if the ones that are, I guess I'd pick What You're Worth, I suppose, because it's special, it's a meaningful one. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, again, there's a whole album's worth of material that and beyond that does not exist for everybody else yet. So
Making me so excited for this record. You gotta stop. I gotta hear it now.
I'm glad you're excited. Yeah, it'll be something. I don't know exactly how it will be. I won't know until that day comes, but um I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it, and it's not completely done yet. So there's still more to do, still more
Don't
to
worry.
to push for. But we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff, and I don't know. Like I said, it's just that's all I really can talk about. But yeah, if it was going to be songs that exist, then probably What You're Worth as a song is just at least to me is probably the most important of them because of what it represents. I mean, I don't know. Like I look at that first EP, and there are moments that I like, but I'm not entirely sure that was what we really wanted to do, or more if that's kind of what we were forced into
Mm-hmm.
um, by a lot of outside things. And on this album, it's a lot more what the hell we want to do. And if there was a second runner up to that question, it'd probably be Mother Rebel. because that song just survived. It was a really old song, and it ended up doing a lot of great things for us.
Mhm.
And no one thought that but us. Prior to it randomly just deciding to go to radio and have a fun time there. And hearing it on the radio all the time is is pretty weird. It's pretty
Right.
strange. Extremely, like, almost a disembodying experience. Because it's like I don't even remember. I don't even know who that guy is anymore. That song is so old at this point. I recorded that what seems like so long ago. I'm like, I don't even know who that guy is, and it's not this person, that's for sure. So it's always
Yeah.
interesting to hear that and be like, whoa, that's weird. Cool.
Right. So the last thing I have for you now is these rapid fire questions. I realize we've been talking for quite a while now.
That's
Um,
fine. That's fair.
all good, all good. I mean, I'll chat as long as you are down for it. It's totally chill. So the rapid fire questions here now. A little bit of a get to know the artist kind of thing. So favorite film,
It's tough.
if you can pick just one.
Modern Times. It's a Charlie Chaplin movie, sound film.
Cool, cool. Favorite food,
Bluefin sashimi.
interesting, interesting. Favorite color,
Cobalt blue.
cool, cool. Favorite book,
That's really difficult. The Last Tycoon. It's the final novel written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. He's the one famous for The Great Gatsby, but
yeah.
yeah, his last. It's unfinished. It's not a finished. He died writing it, so it was.
Wow.
Yeah, literally died on the typewriter.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that's my favorite book. I love it. Ever since I read it when, like, I think at the end of middle school or something. I'm a big fan of F. Scott Fitzgerald in general.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think either that or Lord of the Rings.
Cool. Cool picks. I'm gonna skip the favorite song because I know that's impossible to choose just one. I would be in the same.
No, I think I can do that. I have a favorite song.
Really? Okay. What is it?
Yeah, I have a favorite song that changes, but my favorite song right now is Space Age Love Song by Flock of Seagulls.
Nice, nice.
It'll be my favorite song for like the next day, and then turn into
And then it changes. I
yeah,
feel that.
yeah.
Favorite place, if you can pick just one.
Carmel, California, where I was born.
Cool. Favorite scent?
Hmm. I've never thought about that. My favorite scent, fried chicken. Oh no. Probably like that watermelon hand soap.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I love that smell for some reason. I don't know why.
That's a good pick. Vanilla or chocolate?
Neither.
Interesting. Why?
I don't like chocolatey or creamy ice cream. Like, I mean, which is again, which is, I know, is kind of an oxymoron. You know, like creamy flavored ice cream. I like fruit based ones, or like really crazy ones you can get like at 31 Flavors. They have a flavor at 31 Flavors called daiquiri ice. That's like this. According to some people, according to a girl I took on a date years ago, um uh, I'll never forget it. She told me that it tasted like Windex,
Windex.
and I was like, I guess I like Windex. All right. I like sour bitter things.
Interesting. I like fruit flavored kind of stuff too, so I get that. Morning or night?
Night.
Pineapple or pizza? Pineapple on pizza, hell yes or hell no?
Fuck no.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Marvel or DC?
DC.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Okay, that's the rapid fire questions.
Very good.
All of my questions for you. Well, this has been super, super fun. I'm really glad we got to chat for quite a bit of time here. Everybody, check out Nick Reese's band, Joyous Wolf. You can plug all your social media here if you like, so everybody can follow you.
Oh, yeah, follow me, just Nick Reese at just Nick Reese on Instagram. It's just Nick or it's Nick Reese on TikTok. Joyous Wolf music literally everywhere else. Yeah, Joyous Wolf's working on a record, and hopefully you'll get to hear it some point soon. No real knowledge on that. Thanks if you actually watched all of this. Thank you. I'm glad you think I'm worth the time, and thanks for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to chat here. I appreciate it. I hope you have
I'm really busy right now, so like you should feel thankful because I'm so busy because I have so much to do, so many people to see, places to go.
Yeah. All right. This has been Evie for Bandit and Nick Reese of Joyous Wolf. Thank you all so much for watching.